Alright, so quite a bit ago, in May 2nd, today is June 23rd, I made a video on what was coming next for Global and what were my recommendations for saving. And now that all the units I talked about that were for the near future of this video specifically, right, have come out, time to update it. And also, today, Global got a very interesting patch with both Melasculas coming at one time, which is a really interesting way to look at it because the red Melascula, right, released on JP around here in 27th of February, right? Like with red Derieri, which is a unit that should not come out for a while. So it's interesting to see that because that gives me confidence that all units that they know, the GP didn't get much profit from it, or probably units that they saw the GP didn't, have much of a balance change, or broke the game or something, they might just push faster, just might come out with other units, because that's pretty much what happened. They probably saw that, red Melascula on GP didn't make much of a change to the game, so they were like, you know what, we're releasing blue Melascula anyways, might as well just release the red one. And it's not that far-fetched to just release two of the same unit at the same time, because they did that twice on GP with Estarossa and Derieri. So what I believe they could do on Global, which should not, I'm not even gonna go deep on this video, but I would not be surprised if when eventually Zeldris comes out, the blue one, they release with the red one as well. I mean, to be fair, right? Oh, this is wrong. This is the red Zeldris, the blue Zeldris is this one. To be fair, right? It's gonna take a while, and Zeldris is still a quite decently recent unit on GP, but I'm just putting it out there because on GP he released with Zarathos, which no one cared about, but on Global they might just release both at the same time. And yeah, let's talk about some of the units that Global is missing for the near future, and some that probably will come out very soon. So, what do I have open here? Oh yeah, I actually wanted to mention this first. Before I talk about characters that we know are gonna come out, let me talk about this, right? The AOT collab is nothing but confirmed. Is anything but confirmed. And it's leaked. We have files in the game with the names of the Attack on Titan characters. I made the video showing the leaks and stuff. But it's only in the GP database. But again, there's one little thing that's happening on GP, which is JP is updating the next update, not this one, the one that we're getting this week. The one we're getting this week is tomorrow, right? But the next one will be, not tomorrow, I'm sorry, tomorrow we get the patch notes, the day after tomorrow. Will be on a Tuesday. Usually JP patch is on Thursday, but it will be on a Tuesday, which is Global Day. Maybe we'll get both at the same time, so maybe, this will happen, and I can't predict it should be on the list. The Attack on Titan collab could happen before any of these characters come out, but I am but a man, I'm nothing other than just speculating that this could come out before a lot of these characters here, but we don't have a date. So we just know it's gonna happen. They talked in the dev notes that it's gonna happen. They talked in the global dev notes as well that there is gonna be an activity similar to the Tensura collab, which kind of hinges to the Attack on Titan collab also coming to global sooner than later. So this could come out before a lot of these characters here, but just so you know, right? And by the way, put it out there. Yes, if the Attack on Titan units come out, someone for them. Yes, are you kidding me? Attack on Titan, I mean, even if you don't like Attack on Titan, which you should, because it's amazing, but even if you don't like Attack on Titan, right, they're exclusive characters. They will be exclusive characters, just like the Slime Collab. The Slime Collab units, they're not supposed to ever come back, by the way. They're not supposed to ever come back. So, if you want to have the exclusive units, I do recommend summoning when this comes out, but I don't know when it comes out, so I'm just putting it out there. Alright, so there is a list of all the banners GP has ever had in the Grand Cross database. .com. And looking at it, there's a lot of characters that actually have come out already on Global that came before some of the characters that should have already come out. If we take the approach of going by the books what JP did, but Global doesn't do that. Global doesn't care for that, and I think that's good because a lot of the releases Global is doing are more I want to say smart than the ones GP did. One thing that Global did, which was very interesting, was releasing Valenti before Blue Lilia, which I think was smart, because what GP did was they released Lilia and Blue DML, like you can see right here, pretty much back to back, right? And PvP was hell for anyone that didn't have them until Valenti came out. So they were like, you know what, we're releasing Valenti first, so there isn't going to be this period of time where PvP is unplayable if you don't have them, which was really good. But one character that released Milius that isn't currently in the game is Monspeed. Monspeed is a very average character. He's not very good, but I find it interesting that they released Melascula with the other Melascula, because what they could do is they could release both Monspeeds at the same time as well. And it wouldn't be so bad because this green Monspeed isn't all of that either. So they could just release both Monspeeds, and I would recommend skipping. They ain't all that great. This character is really fun. The red one's I, but the green one's really fun. He has increased damage dealt by 100% if attacking enemy with Ignite, and he has weak point as well. So if the enemy has any Ignite, he will proc both. It doesn't actually stack. The 100% is applied after weak point, so it doesn't really stack. Or yeah, it's applied after weak point. So it's 100% of the initial damage before weak point is applied. So it doesn't really stack, but it still does good damage. And this one, depletes one ultimate gauge and deletes a card. He's a really cool and interesting character. If you have, an Ignite setup, he can work pretty well. But he's nothing crazy. So I'll definitely recommend skipping Monspeed whenever he comes out. This one, he has the same card as Escanor, but of course he doesn't have the pierce that Escanor has and stuff like that, right? And he also has weak point, but AoE weak point. But Monspeed's big issue is his ultimate. And his commitment, I think, is pretty bad. I don't like this. Allies and enemies will not gain ultimate gauge from using skills. I don't like it. And his passive takes 30% less damage from the ultimate. It's just not... They're not very good, so I'd recommend skipping Monspeed whenever he comes out. These are two characters that released together on half anniversary for GP, which Global released on March. I do not think they're gonna release for half anniversary on Global. You know what if they really want to, they can hold Red Escanor for half anniversary. I don't think they will though. I believe Red Escanor should come out in like a bit. I'll talk about him in a second, but this Bond is ass. He's not good. He's really bad. I say this every time because I have to. This Bond was the biggest blue balls in the game for me, because his passive increases defense by 50% of all enemies' defense. You know how crazy this sounds? He gets 50% of all of enemies' defense combined. So if you have 3 enemies, he gets 50% of all the combined defense for him. Issue is that defense is a useless stat, because Green Escanor exists, and you know what Pierce Rate does? Pierce Rate ignores defense. So defense is trash, and he just got destroyed by Escanor when he released. I was so sad. I was so sad that he wasn't like a stupid broken unit. His cards are okay, decreases defense with his stats and then cancels. It's okay. He does okay damage. So I recommend skipping. This Bond is trash. He's actually good for Red Demon, for Hell Red, but I actually think the other Bond is better. The one that we currently already have, the other blue Bond, I think he is actually better for Red Demon than this Bond. So I'll recommend, if you are going to use a blue Bond for Red Demon, that one's better. Green Giant DN is actually a double AoE unit, which is pretty decent for farming. She actually does good damage. Increases all allies' defense with stats per 10% per debuff from the hero. That's an okay passive, but she's not. I mean, if you already have Lilia, Blue DML, and Hauser, or Lilia, Blue DML, and like Gilla, Lilia, Blue DML, and who else is good for farming? You know, but these units, she's not gonna be necessary at all. Like, in my experience, I haven't really aided her, but if you already have those other units, putting an investment into this unit is not really worth it. You know, I almost forgot, Green Bond, right, as well. It's not really worth it, so I do recommend skipping. But she's an okay unit. Having double AoE is good for farming, but that's pretty much about it. On PvP, this unit in the blue Bond, I remember, I think me and Speedy did a video together reading the patch notes when they were initially released, and we were like, yo, these units look insane. She has 375% AoE, yo, that's crazy, but it wasn't that good, unfortunately. Red Escanor. Red Escanor is a coin shop unit, and if you want to skip his banner and buy him in the coin shop, it's okay. But in my opinion, I think there's a motorcycle outside, it's very loud. But in my opinion, right, summoning for his banner to get his first initial copy and then buying dupes is not the worst idea. I do believe summoning for his banner would not be so bad because of that. But if you're strictly saving only for units that are only summonable, you could skip him and then buy him in the coin shop. What they did on JP, which I don't think they'll do on Global, because actually this was for New Year's on JP that he released, right? Oh yeah, by the way, almost forgot to mention, I am not including any seasonal characters because I have no clue when they're gonna come out. Like, yeah, we have the Halloween characters, which if they want to wait until Halloween to release, it's gonna take until October, right? So I'm not including them on the list because of that. Like New Year's, Valentine's Day, I don't know, maybe they'll release sooner, maybe they'll wait for the actual, you know, holiday of that character to release, who knows. But coming back, Escanor was a New Year's character, but he wasn't branded as a New Year's character, so he should come out anytime soon. And he is really good. Red Escanor, when he released, he was the best unit in the game. In my opinion, he was the best unit in the game when he came out. And he probably will be when he comes out on Global. I'm just saying. His team, like, I know you guys on Global really like Mono Red. And if you think Mono Red is good because of Arthur, Gopher, and stuff, you have no idea, man. Arthur, Gopher, Escanor, and whatever in the back, Hauser, Red King when he comes out, the skinny one, is so good. It's just so good because this man has Amplify. So for each buff Arthur gives him, he does extra 30% damage. And he himself has a buffer as well, of giving himself 50% HP related stats for 3 turns in the beginning of the battle. Not only that's HP, but that's also lifesteal. So not only he has insane HP, every time he hits someone, he pretty much fully heals because of his insane lifesteal. He's so good, and he takes off ultimate gauge. This is the same card as Blue Lilia. He takes off ultimate gauge on his AoE card. He's so good. He's so good. If you want to summon for his banner and then buy the 6/6 him from dupes from the coin shop, especially Escanor is an amazing 6 out of 6 character for Link because his stats are amazing. If you want to buy his dupes from the coin shop to 6/6 him, that's perfectly fine. So if you want to summon for his banner whenever that comes out, that's fine. Like, honestly. So I would recommend summon. Actually, I would. Just because of that. If you want to skip to buy in the coin shop, that's also fine. Oh yeah, I was going to say, when he released on JP, and I don't think they'll do this on Global, he was already discounted in the coin shop. But I don't think they're going to do that on Global. That was really generous for them to... They not only that, but back in the day, yeah, coin shop was different. It wouldn't update every week. It would update every 2 weeks. But you could buy 2 copies of that character that was discounted, and you could buy 2 discounted copies for him, for 5 coins each when he came out. So you could just skip his banner and buy 2 copies for him in the coin shop if you had like 10 coins. That was really cool. But I don't think they're going to do that on Global. I would not expect for them. Not because Global Team is bad. I think Global Team is actually doing very, very good recently. It's just, I wouldn't expect that at all. I just wouldn't. That was a one-off thing that they were like super nice. Red Fat King, he actually released with Melasculum, the blue one, right? That just came out on Global. Skip. Glox, skip. He's so bad. He's so bad. I hate Glox. When he came out, he released with Blue Merlin. Yeah, Gloxinia released with Blue Merlin, which already came out on Global. He's just not good. What they could do though, and that would be actually pretty cool, if they release him with the Red Glox, because Red Glox is super good. Like he's just a good character. He's not an amazing character, but I really like him. Like, he has a healing card, and he allows level 2 and 3 cards with his attack card. I really like the Red Glox, but the Green Glox is trash. So I would recommend skipping. And Red Glox is a coin shop unit. So, Elat and Balion, they came out. Was it after New Year's? I think. Yeah, Balion and Elat came out. Oh, it was. Oh, they were before and after New Year's. Interesting. I didn't recall that. I recommend skipping. Elat for one month was relevant on JP because it was a good strategy for guild boss, but that guild boss is not even available anymore, and it's probably not gonna be anymore. So it's not very good. Balion's just not good. Okay, he's okay. Actually, I think he's pretty okay. He heals 30% of diminished HP every time a debuff is removed from him, which is actually a really good passive in paper, but it's just you can't control that much. He ignores resistance on his AoE, so his AoE is actually pretty okay damage. And he has the same card as Green Burden for taking off ultimate gauge, and his ultimate is the same one as DM, so he does insane damage. But in practical play, he just isn't all that. So I would recommend skipping him as well. He's gonna be in Generous Star Pool. I mean, every character here is gonna be in Generous Star Pool anyway, so. Red King must summon. Red King is a necessary unit, okay? You know Valenti? Yeah, he is Valenti, but doesn't need specific gear and can be used in the back. In PvP, reduce the pierce rate of all enemies by half, as well as reduce any additional pierce rate by half. I don't need to read his cards. He's a 4th slot unit. You do not use him in the front. He's a 4th slot unit. And you put him there and you're protected for any piercing ever. And that's it. That's it. He's a simple unit and you need to summon for him. Okay? I'm telling you right now. You need him. He might, okay, Global might even release him sooner than later, honestly. Because the way that they released Valenti before Lilia, they might just hate piercing. So he might actually come out sooner. And yeah, he didn't kill Pierce because honestly, right now in JP, Pierce is pretty nice. No one's using Red King anymore. This one, but for a period of time, every single person used Red Skinny King. So Pierce was very annoying to use. But yeah, so he's really good because of it. His cards are irrelevant though. They're pretty trash. Estarossa. So here's where I mentioned they released 2 commandments at once. They released both Estarossas and both Derieris at the same time. This was, and I'm taking these by order, right? So this was already 30th of January. Estarossa, the green one, is top 3 favorite units in the game for me. If not my favorite unit still. I love this character. Absolutely adore Green Estarossa. He is so fun. Like, if you watch any of my videos of me using him, you just see me having a great time because it's so fun. His card is the best card in the game, okay? I'm telling you. Assumes a stance which taunts and inflicts damage equal to 240% via counter. He taunts them to attack him and he counters. What a dickhead. And then level 3 is just the best because he taunts for 2 turns and then inflicts 600%. 600% is a lot, dude. It's so good. And he has insane lifesteal, right? You can see he has 18% lifesteal at 6 stars. So he pretty much heals it all back. Whatever damage he takes before he counters, he heals it all back. He's such a fantastic unit. I love him so much. One thing I hate about him, absolutely despise. After allies and enemies receive damage, apply a debuff that decreases the attack-related stats of the attacker by 20%. If you do damage to someone, you will be debuffed to all your attack-related stats by 20% for 3 turns. It's so annoying. Thankfully, he protects himself because remove debuffs and grants debuff immunity on the ally that assumes a stance for 2 turns. That includes him. So whenever he counters, he gives himself immunity from that commandant, right? But all the allies are unprotected. So it's just, unless you're using other counter units, but he's just a dickhead. And I love him. I absolutely love Green Estarossa. He has charge as well, which ignores defense. His attack card is actually pretty good. He's the same one as a blue bot. Red Estarossa though, ass cheeks. He's so bad. He's so bad. He's so bad. He's so trash. It's sad, man. It's actually sad. But the green one, super good. Again, they released both at the same time. And the green one is a coin shop unit. So honestly, They could, again, because they released both Melascles at the same time, I think they could release both at the same time again, but you know the global action mix things up, so they might push one like faster, right? Because Red Estarossa is trash, they might include him in the Hawk Pass or something. Although, you know, Estarossa is a pretty hype character, so they might not, but all trash characters could be a Hawk Pass unit as well. Just like they did with Death Beers, they did with, there was another character they did, I forgot! There was another character, I'm sorry. There was another character they did. Was it Blue Elizabeth? No, there was another character they did with Hawk Pass as well that was not very good. I completely forgot who it was now. Anyways, it doesn't matter. And they could just do any of these characters I talked about. Bellion, Red Fat King, all these could not be banners and become Hawk Pass, which would be great. They definitely should do that. So I would recommend skipping the red one, but if they throw these together, summon for the green one. Summon for the green one and get dupes. I don't care, just because I love him, alright? His ultimate, oh yeah, Estarosa's ultimate. For one turn, take a preemptive attack stance, and both allies, before allies receive damage, deal 300% of these units attack to the enemy, nullify all the other skill cards of the enemy. Pretty much, he says, Furu counter, and he doesn't allow the enemy to attack for one turn. Any attack, it could be an ultimate, it could be a regular attack. If they use an attack, they get countered, the attack doesn't count, and they take damage back. It's just so good. His ultimate is so good. Of course, the enemy can just not use an attack, but here's the thing, right? Let's say you get your Blue King's ultimate, and then you use the Estarossa ultimate. They can't take it off. They just physically cannot take off their ultimate, because they can't use an attack card, and they would just take the King ultimate. So, it's just... I love him so much. Green Estarossa is so good. Red one's trash though. Red Derieri, best PvE in the game. Do I have to wait? Let me go on my channel real quick. Do I have to talk about her? I soloed Hell Crimson using only her. Hell, not extreme. Hell Crimson using only Derieri. Yes, but she will take a while. And, you know, 27 February, it was, she will take, like, you saw how many characters I'm talking about, right? But honestly, out of the whole list, the 4 characters I talked about that you should summon are the ones I genuinely believe that are, you know, you shouldn't skip. And the Red Derieri includes in that list because she's just way too good. She is a character you want a 6/6 because her ultimate has Amplify and she buffs herself with this blue card, and every time she attacks, she gives herself in a 10% attack boost that stacks up to 10 times. So she can give herself 10 buffs plus 4 buffs from this, counting the evade. And her ult has Amplify, so for each buff does an extra 30% damage. So like she scales so much, man. Her damage is so stupid. So she's a must-have, like 6/6 must-have. She's not the coin shop. Green Derieri is a coin shop. Green Derieri is not bad. Like, she, in comparison, is very sad, but she's not bad. She's pretty decent on PvP. Her passive is the ultimate move gauge will not be filled when enemy moves skills. So, you know, if the enemy moves a card, they just don't get ultimate gauge, which is actually pretty good. Like, it's low-key pretty good. Nothing insane though, you know? That's why she doesn't get, you know, all the praise that the red one gets. But she's actually pretty good on PvP. She does have the same card as Green Merlin, so not only she, you know, doesn't allow the enemy to get ultimate gauge, she also takes off ultimate gauge. And her ultimate hits okay hard. Like, she doesn't have any buffs that she gives herself, so the Amplify is useless. This card was legitimately only made for the red one, you know? The green one doesn't take any use of the Amplify. But... yeah, she's okay. If they release both in the same banner, you know, you should summon for them anyways. But she's okay. And honestly, I should not mention any of the other characters because I genuinely don't believe they should come out too soon. But one unit that came out, you know, with Melascula was Galland, the red Galland. He's okay, nothing crazy. Eastern and Mono are original characters that should not come out too long. Honestly, it should. They could bump them up faster, but I think Honestly, they could release sooner than later. Easton has the same buff card as Green Halberd, that's all she's good for, and Mono is just trash. Blue Arthur, he's pretty good. He'll release for the 777 Mandala celebration. And then we have a unit that no one knows. Have you ever heard about Lost Vein Meliodas? I don't think so. Fraugen is a god tier unit if you have lots of money. Blue Fraugen is okay. Green Mosby we talked about. Roxy, she's trash. This was a trash filler banner. Zeldris I talked about. It shouldn't come out too soon, to be honest. Zarathus is trash. Gloxinia, you know, she said maybe comes out with a green one. Shin should not come out in a while. He is a farming unit. Honestly, I would skip his banner whenever that comes out because he's the same thing as Hauser, pretty much. I only sell it for him because I want to beat him. Matron is garbage. Goddess Elizabeth, you never heard of her. She's not even used in PvP. She's like a top 3 best unit in the game. But she is the anniversary character. They could release the anniversary character, you know, Goddess Elizabeth, sooner than the actual anniversary. But who knows? And that's, you know, now we're caught up with JP. So, out of the, like, most closest to release characters on Global, none are that crazy. But the AOT collab could happen very soon. And I would say the next big character might just be Red Escanor. The next, I said the next big character, not like he's gonna come out like next week. Like he's gonna come out eventually, just the next in line, right? So nothing crazy to be expected for a little while. The biggest hype we had for, you know, now was like Blue Lilia, and we should have like a dry period of like super good characters for a little bit. But you know, Red Escanor is super PogChamp, so whenever that comes out, I do recommend something. That's it. Now you're caught up.